Ahead of the election, son of legendary pastor to the president's Reverend Billy Graham is calling on Americans to pray.
Joining us now is Reverend Franklin Graham, the president and CEO of the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association and Samaritan's Purse. Good morning to you, sir. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Good to be with you this morning.
So you're not publicly coming out endorsing anyone, but you say this is the most pivotal, most important election of our lifetime. Why?
Well, there's so much at stake right now when you look at our country. We have great threats outside of our country. We see corruption at every level in Washington, and it's in both parties. And it's a cesspool, and something's got to change. Otherwise, if we just continue as we've been going, I don't see how America's going to be able to make it. We've just become such a corrupt society, and the only hope for America is God. And I went to all 50 state capitals this year to hold prayer rallies on the state capitol steps, asking people to pray. And they came by the thousands, and they stood there for hours praying for this nation. And I've been asking Christians to vote, to go to the polls and vote, but pray before you cast your ballot. And just ask God who you should vote for. I'm not going to tell people who to vote for, but I want people to pray.
You're hearing some Christians say, I can't vote for either one, I'm not voting. Is that a dodge, do you think, or is that a legitimate position?
No, they're wrong, absolutely wrong. In the Bible, we see that when Paul was arrested, he was a Roman citizen. And he used his rights as a Roman citizen to appeal to Caesar. And I'm just asking Americans, we have a right to vote. So let's exercise that right and let's vote, because we can make a change. God uses people to bring change. He used his people in the scriptures to bring change. And the Christian voice needs to be heard in America, because we're losing our rights as a nation. And in the last election, they say between 25 to maybe 35 million evangelical Christians stayed away from the polls. And I'm trying to wake the church up and tell them we have a responsibility. Let's go to the polls and vote. And of course, I've been asking Christians to vote for candidates that best stand for biblical principles. That's so important.
Your daughter, Cissy Graham Lynch, on Fox and Friends this week endorsing Donald Trump. Listen to this.
I look at who Trump has surrounded himself with. He has surrounded himself with some godly men, Ben Carson, but he has chosen not just the counsel of Mike Pence, but as his running mate. Mike Pence doesn't just talk about his faith. He talks about his faith in Jesus Christ, and he is not ashamed of it. And I think Trump and Pence together will fight on the behalf of the Christian voice.
Sure.
So is that the argument to evangelicals? You heard from Ted Cruz and others during the primary season that Donald Trump is a fake evangelical, basically, or fake Christian, and that he doesn't really stand for that, but is surrounding himself with those individuals is really why you would want to throw your support behind Donald Trump. Is that the argument, you think?
Well, I can't speak for Donald Trump's faith. You'd have to ask him, but I've been around him. I know that he is, I think he does have faith. And of course, you could judge a person by the kind of friends that he has and the people that he surrounds him with. And he's got some incredibly good people around him. And that must say something about him. Look at his family. He's got an incredible family. That says something about the man. So, we've all heard, things that he has said in the past, which I certainly don't agree with and wouldn't try to defend. But that was also 11 years ago. But you have to look at where the man is today. And I think he has changed a lot in the last, especially 10 years.
Yeah, that's really well said. For people of faith that are going out to the polls on Tuesday, what are the issues they should be focused on? Where should their focus remain?
Well, I think for me, the Supreme Court, that is what's so important. Because the next president in February is going to nominate a justice to the bench. We have to really think about who we want to be on that bench. Hillary Clinton won't give us the names of who she's going to put, but she's also given us the kinds of people that she's looking for, people of various backgrounds and so forth. Donald Trump has given a list of very first-class justices that he would recommend for the bench. And so I think for the Supreme Court, this election is coming down to the Supreme Court. Now, a lot of people in the media don't want you to focus on it. They want to think it's about lost emails. They want you to think it's about his bad mouth or whatever. But that's not what this election's about. It's really about the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court, this next president could be 1, 2, maybe 5 justices. And that's going to shape America for the next 50 years. And so I would strongly recommend, as you go to the polls, who do you trust best? Hillary Clinton? Then vote for her. If you trust Donald Trump to put the right man on there or the right woman on the bench, then you vote for him. But this election is coming down to the Supreme Court.
Yeah. Reverend Franklin Graham joining us live this morning. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
So well said. Good to have you here.
Thank you.